Welcome everyone here to the Smash Sports Show right here on Smash FM here on Lockdown Tuesday here in Melbourne. And of course, let's continue the chat with the hockey side of things in particular, and of course speak to the couple of the members from the Melton Hockey Club. And of course, they join us right now to tell us a bit about how it's been like with no hockey so far in 2020. They join us now to tell us a bit about it. Thanks all five of you for joining us.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, no worries.
No
Thanks,
worries.
mate.
I'll get each of you to introduce yourselves and tell us, I guess, what position we would normally be seeing all five of you on the field.
Bench.
Go, Will. Take the lead, Will.
My name's William. I play centre back mainly, but I have a feeling in seniors next year when it starts up, I'll probably be centre half.
Cool. I'm Alicia. I normally play defensive, but sometimes midfield defense. So.
My name's Michael, and depends on what grade I'm playing. If I'm playing up, usually in defence, but if I'm playing down where I belong, it depends on who else is playing. But yeah, usually up forward.
Here you go, honey bunny.
My name's Matt. I play defence. That's pretty much it.
And I'm Kylie, and I don't know all the positions, so I just go wherever I get told to stand.
Now, normally at this time of the year, I'll be obviously be hoping to talk to you about finals for your club, but obviously that hasn't happened this year. I guess, how sad or disappointing has that been this year to play no hockey at all?
Extremely.
And
Yeah,
it's been
very
really sad. Yeah. I mean, we're all training hard and trying to, we had a great preseason, and then, yeah, we just haven't had the opportunity to play, and it was like the longest preseason ever, and then it just never happened.
Yeah.
It was one of the hardest pre-seasons I've done, and it just didn't go ahead, sadly.
Yeah, really sadly, especially we had really good numbers down at training, and you know, we had 3 teams for the men's and 2 for the women's, and yeah, it was all looking good. And like I said, had a long pre-season. It was looking really good, and then just before it was time to actually play, it sort of got taken away twice.
Yeah.
It was the Wednesday before.
Yeah,
The Wednesday
that's
before
right.
the Saturday was supposed to start. It all come crashing down.
Yeah.
Now,
It's hard because then, like, you lose your motivation. It's like your goal is to, like, get fitter and faster because you want to score more goals or stop more goals or make more tackles, and then it kind of, like, removes that from your training, you know?
now after we got out of the first lockdown, did you have any optimistic that the season was going to get back underway?
We tried to be optimistic. It's what you sort of held on to, to try and...
I think we had about a month back at training nearly. Probably about that.
Yeah, it was,
And as Matt said before, we got pretty close, probably within a week or two of, I think it was a week of juniors starting and a couple of weeks of seniors starting, and then it sort of fell away. So it was probably that last week where I think any of our confidence sort of disappeared, but it sort of happened really quickly. Up until then, it was looking pretty good.
I think it's hard too because, like, the club had worked so hard to put in place, like, all the different protocols and procedures that they needed to do, and then just so close.
Very disappointing.
They're now thinking about preparations for another big pre-season for 2021.
Hopefully.
There was talk about trying to get a summer season up and running, so that's the next sort of goal really, is to try and get everyone back around the summer sort of season, and then move into pre-season for the 2021.
Since there's been no hockey and obviously and all that sort of things, and hopefully to have a summer season or even preparing for the 2021 season, have you been doing any hockey type sessions like online or something similar like that?
No, not really.
Oh, some of the women do like a bit of a fitness every week, but
it's more fitness, fitness based than hockey and skill related,
I guess let's talk a bit about the teams that was meant to happen this year. I guess tell us a couple of players in your respective teams, I guess, would have had a fantastic year. Obviously, you can't include yourselves.
And probably wouldn't have. Look, I think in the men's, looking at training, we had a few of our younger players. We got some really talented younger players who are probably that sort of 16, 17, or just recently turned 18 that I think we're going to have really good years. Will, who's here, I think was set to have a really good season. I think a couple of our younger ones as well. I think they were really set. I think an extra year of an extra pre-season, an extra year of playing hockey. They were a bit bigger, stronger, a bit faster. I think they were ready to have really good years. And we had one ex-player return because he basically got kicked out of where he was because he was overseas. And young Lockie was looking like he was going to have a really good year as well. But yeah, I think overall the club was going to have a great year. But some of our younger ones were going to have a really good year in the men's for sure.
Definitely, yeah.
And I think with the women, we were really looking at having a great year as well. The numbers we were getting to training were, the numbers we were getting.
You weren't here when we did the introduction. I don't believe we've met.
I'm Kylie Faye. Hi.
Team sub mascot.
I was on another session with Hockey Victoria. Sorry. No. Yeah. Look, with the women, the numbers we were getting to training were really positive. You know, and once again, the work we've put in with the junior players coming through. We ran skill sessions over the break prior to COVID. And having that growth in those players in the 15 to 18-year-olds was really exciting. So, you know, as a coach and board member, to see that both in the women and the men's and to see those players coming through into the lead up into the season was really exciting.
And there'd been like even heaps, development, and the team was really coming together. Even from I'm new this year, and I could see the difference in the change that from the beginning to, well, where we pulled up stumps.
Yeah.
Now for each of you, tell us how did all you get involved in hockey and why did you choose it?
Well, I'll start. I was a partner. And then our son started playing, and then after a few years of being on the sideline and just hanging around, was just like, what the hell? And I'm spewing I didn't start sooner, so I finally took the field last year. We've been together for what, 11 years, so it was nearly 10 years before I took.
Yeah.
And I can't believe I didn't try it sooner. It's such a great sport, whether it's got to do with the club and the members and that, but it's such a great sport. Highly encourage anyone to give it a crack. Yourself even, you know. Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, Sunday, if you're free, you know, the more the merrier. We're all very welcoming.
Kylie's our unofficial head of recruitment. I think about 80% of our new players had come with Kylie and brought them through.
No,
she's great at it.
It's such a great sport though, and it's just the club dynamics, and you know, from your younger players to your seniors, even those like that they're not even playing, like the board members. Yeah, everyone's just fantastic.
I'm probably a bit the same as Kylie too. Like I didn't start hockey until much later. This year would have been my third season, so it took a long time to get around. And I think ultimately I'd been a long-time cricketer and was looking for something different to do, a different sport. And I got myself motivated and got to the gym and was looking for something good for fitness. And I knew a few people from down at the hockey club, so decided to join on and was really glad I did. And like Kylie said, kicking myself, I didn't start when I was 26 instead of 36.
Yeah. Well, I'm a bit opposite, I guess. I started when I was 5, so I had no choice. Like, Mum was playing, and it was like, well, you can either play that or you can just watch Mum play. So I pretty much have always had a hockey stick in my hand all year long, and I love how like fast and skillful, but also it's like got a brute strength to it with like a bit of thinking that you need to do to position yourself correctly. Yeah. Couldn't imagine life without it, to be honest.
Yeah.
I've been playing for about 9 to 10 years now. I originally, mum and dad were playing at the time, but I was too young to know. I started playing because I wanted to hang around my best mate more often, and yeah, so I just got into hockey because of them, really.
Well, for
You,
me,
mate?
yeah. Well, for me, a very long time ago, I did hockey in school, PE. I was about 13, 14 and went up to the teacher and said, oh, I want to play this. This is really good. And so she said that somebody else in the school played, to go and speak to her. So it took me about 3 or 4 days to build up the courage to go speak to her, because she was a real toughie in the school, you know. and so I said, you know, I want to play, and we've been best mates ever since. You know, I'm 51 now, and she's still in my life, and we still play hockey, and yeah, it's been pretty crazy since then. So yeah, both my husband play and both our boys play, and I'm unable to play anymore, but I coach and I'm on the board, and just all around live and breathe hockey and just love it. Love the hockey family, and I think that's really important. In our club, it's a huge thing. We socialise together, we have fun together, both on and off the field, and I don't know, it gets under your skin, and you just love it.
It's addictive.
Yeah, I mean, coming to Melton, it's been great. Like, you just feel so included, and it's like a family. It's great. And I've only been there a really short time.
Oh, that's
lovely.
beautiful, Alicia.
What about you, Simone?
Started as a kid, just with a family friend, went down and played with them. Then Melton lost their field as a junior. They went to Altona, so I stopped playing for, I don't know how many years, 15 years or something like that, and then returned 10 years ago and haven't stopped since. So, and now, yeah, Mitch is playing and Hyde's going to play soon. So, yeah, it's good. The kids are coming up and through, and so that's going to take over me playing, really, I think. So it's really good to see.
Now, I want to ask all you this question. How good is to see the juniors coming through there at Melton?
Oh, it's really good. So last year I was coach of one of the under-10 girls teams, and I think we started the year, I think the girls that started last year hadn't won a game when they started out the year before, and then I think by the end of the season, I think we ended up in the second part of the season, I think we ended up finishing on top, and the girls loved it, had a hoot. By the end, I think we finished with 18 girls across 2 different teams. They really enjoyed it. It was my daughter's first season playing. She loved it and was really looking forward to getting back. And my son started as well. So, yeah, we've got really great numbers at the lower levels with, you know, under 10s and 12s. We've got 4 under 10s teams, and we had 2 under 12s teams. So the numbers there were really good coming through, which was great.
And I mean, a lot of the junior girls form a really core, important part of the women's team as well. And it's been really great to see them develop and step up and really become solid members within the women's section as well.
I think that's happening with the men's side of things as well. A lot of those junior players, Bear, you spoke of that a bit earlier, of, you know, these 14, you know, to 17-year-olds that have had the growth and the strength and been to the skills clinic, and now we're this season looking at taking that next step and really building on that. And having a look at our men's first team, a good half of that team would be made up of our under 18 side, you know, so that's really exciting. That's just to be working with the juniors for the last 10 years that I've been there, and to see them now coming into their own and not just playing but holding their own and being solid players in those sides, and looking at that men's first team, it was really exciting.
Yep. And it's definitely given the older blokes a chance to step back and not have to be so involved in the in the role play and all that sort of stuff. There's actually a couple of juniors coming through and taking over their positions, so it's good. It gives them time to actually teach the juniors as well, instead of having them trying to play the game as well. So
yeah,
it's good.
And it allowed one of our coaches to play in the seconds and take on a leadership role there, and then support the next group of kids coming through. So some of the people that Kylie Faye was talking about before, your 14s, your 15-year-olds that were having their first season of senior hockey were able to be in there with a bit of leadership, and then hopefully in the next 2 or 3 years they'll aspire to play in the first, which would be really good.
Yeah.
Now, what does the sport of hockey mean to all six of you? And I know you sort of mentioned a little bit before about it, but I'll get both of you to sort of, all you to sort of describe it more in depth. What does it all mean to play the sport of hockey, and especially being there at Melton?
It means everything to me. I don't know if I can elaborate it anymore. I live, I breathe, I dream it.
Yeah, I think for me, there's probably the two main parts is, I think the impact, like the fitness side's really important. Like hockey's a physical game. There's a lot of running. So I know certainly being away from hockey, the impact it's had on my fitness would be, I'm not looking forward to that first training session I go into. I know that for sure. I think isolation and, is going to hit that pretty hard. And so that side of it, I certainly miss it. It was a big motivation for joining in the first place, but also the club environment. We got some great social events. My kids love being down there because, the people I'm playing with, their kids play. So they love coming down when I'm playing because their friends are there watching. And if the club has an event on, all the families are there and the kids take over their little room and, have a great time in there while, all the adults are socialising and having a great time as well. So that side of it's really missed as well.
I think that, people can get a bit of white line fever. What happens on the pitch stays on the pitch. They get out there, have a really competitive, a good hard game of hockey, and then they come off the field, and to have that family environment, to have that group around where everybody's just enjoying themselves is really, you don't get that everywhere. You don't get that in your life. I'm now just hitting the 50s, and to still have those people that I played hockey with when I was 13 and 14 and then been involved with throughout the years still be around and still be a part of our lives today, it's just huge. And I look at people who aren't in that and circle and don't do those things, and they came to my 50th and said, is this your club party? And I went, no, these are my mates. I can tell you what's going on in their lives. I can tell you, what they like to drink. I can tell you where they play. I can tell you, what's happening, because we share all of that. Yeah. And for me, that's really important to build some of what I had. When I was a teenager, I grew up in Broadmeadows, and there was lots of challenges and lots of different things going on. So hockey was our safe zone. Hockey was our safe space. And we ran amok. We had a heap of fun. We played good hockey. We played shit hockey sometimes, but, we were all out there together, So if I can share some of that and impart some of that and have that safe place for our teenage boys to come through and play in and be a part of, well, then I think, I pass the baton. So that's what I look at with the hockey.
Yeah, I think for me, like, hockey means it's like the sense of community and this awesome feeling of teamwork that you get, like whether you're the coach standing on the sideline or whether you're the player running around on the field or you're the person who's about to sub on and help your mates out because they need a break. Like, it's a really great equalizer, and it brings everyone together, and I've always loved that about hockey. And it's not just even the club you're a part of, you know, you're playing against people and you get to know the hockey community. And, you know, I've played in the country out in the Wimmera, and I played on the peninsula, and now I'm playing here. And those connections that I made at those clubs are still there. And when I get to see my old club mates and play against them, like, it's great. Like, yeah, we battle it out on the hockey field, but as soon as we get to stand on the sideline and have a chat afterwards, it's great.
For me, it's being able to switch off from everything else. You can just go to the hockey club and you know who's going to be there 9 times out of 10. You play your hockey and then you socialise on the side. It's just good to let everything go and just not have to worry about everything else. So it's a bit of, I suppose you could call it well-being sort of thing. You know, you get to, you know, just forget about everything else and just enjoy your time when you're there, watching the kids run around as well, like Michael said. So,
what will be your advice to our listeners out there once we all get out of this lockdown to get down there and have a go in the sport of hockey?
Do it. Come down, pick up a stick, have a hit. Like,
you're never too old to pick up hockey. Like, yeah, you're never too old to start playing hockey. Like, it's great and it's fun and everyone's supportive. And yeah, the best thing about it is, yeah, it's just easy and quick to learn.
Yeah, absolutely. I completely reiterate what Alicia just said. You're never too old. I was 36, I think, when I started. You know, it's a great chance to come down and have some fun. And like she said, you pick it up a lot quicker than you think. And I think probably people either overestimate what you need in order to play hockey. It's just have a bit of a run and have a bit of fun and learn some new skills. But yeah, it's just a lot of fun and yeah, really enjoyable.
Now let's finish off a couple of light-hearted questions about your teammates, of course, either last year or parts of this year. Any embarrassing moments by anyone on your respective teams on the field, either train or during a game?
I think the only embarrassing things I know about myself.
Well, feel free to share.
Matt and I were discussing it before we came on. I can't think of any. I can only think of the stupid things I've done.
Well, I do still get bagged a little bit at training every now and then, because I think for my first ever training session, it took me about half a training session before someone told me you can't use the back of the stick. So I was doing that for a long time, just sort of running around. And yeah, someone actually had to point out to me that you're not allowed to do that. I think they thought I was just doing it by accidentally, you know, I had no idea, and someone had to point it out to me. So that gets mentioned a little bit.
Oh, don't worry, I fell into that trap before.
During training, when we were allowed to this year, we'd play a practice game at the end of every game, and I would remember Bear missing nearly every open shot he took. And the amount of times, and then one of the newer kids coming up would just tap it in, and I'd be like, Bear, are you serious? It's right there.
Yeah, I remember that, and I was told I had one more chance, and thankfully the next one went in. And then I think I missed another two. And then I think I missed another 2 or 3. And I said, but that's okay. I got one. You said one last chance, and I got it. And now I have to start over again. Yeah. And then I was playing next to the coach, and I made sure I actually passed the goal off to him. So I think that earned me more chances. So you always got to look after the coach.
Oh.
Thanks, Will. That was good. Thank you for that.
Now, who's the comedian in the team?
Comedian in the team.
Oh, yeah. In the men's, that would definitely be Lockie. His mouth runs at a mile a minute, and he runs just as fast. But he was the player I was talking about before. He came back from being overseas for a season or two, and he's always the one who gets everyone talking and laughing around while we're warming up and things like that. So yeah, he'd be the comedian of the team.
The women's would be you.
I don't know.
Yeah, I was going to say it's Kylie.
I'm just a larrikin. You can't shut me up. Oh, well, laugh is the best medicine. Like, if you can't laugh at yourself, which generally
Kylie always makes doing our fitness and our squats far more entertaining by making us laugh. So, whilst we're trying to hold our squats for 20 seconds. So,
yeah.
Yeah.
You gotta have fun.
Now, any good singers and dancers we should know about at your club?
Oh, Matthew Murphy.
yes. Yeah.
Matthew Murphy. Yeah, he does a good striptease. Was that trivia night? Was it a hockey trivia night one night? He got up on the chair. Yeah.
It was one of the things, one of the days.
He didn't get all his gear off, but he did. He got up on a chair and, swung his shirt around.
Royce did, didn't he, that year? Royce got most of his gear off that year.
Yeah, probably. He's good value.
Yeah.
Can't think of anyone else. Tracy Donald always go. She's always up for a bit of entertainment too. She likes to play the role.
And no, I was going to say Ryan and Lockie with their dirty dancing scene.
No.
BBK.
The scene out of Dirty Dancing where Lockie comes running up and Ryan picks him up and holds him up and then they fall. Have you seen that, Alicia?
No, I haven't.
I haven't seen that.
Haven't you?
Is there a video of it?
Lockie has been away, so someone else has been doing it with him.
BBK.
Oh, you VBK, but he's a bit big. Tall. Yeah. I wanted to see Tommy do it. I wanted to see Tommy do the lift.
And we'll finish off with this one last one, which is now we mentioned about embarrassing moments. Now, any silly moments that's ever happened on the field by anyone?
Getting carded on my first time having a run with our first women's team and not knowing what I got sent off for. What was even worse, I had 5 minutes. I was only on the field for not even 5 minutes, and that was the only time I was getting, and I got carded and I got sent to the naughty box and had no idea what I did wrong. Highlight of my career.
I think a favourite moment of mine was a friend of mine. We started playing hockey together at the same time. We both came over from cricket, and it took him a while to score his first goal. But then when he scored it, he hadn't realised he'd scored.
Yeah,
it took
that's hilarious. That
realised he just ran at the ball and was competing for it and just got a bit of the stick and it just went over the goalkeeper and went in for a goal. But we had to explain to him he'd scored. So, yeah, that was probably a favourite of mine.
Good old Itchy.
Good old Itchy.
Oh, that's funny. Well, I've never ever heard of someone scored a goal and they didn't know he scored.
No, it is.
Didn't know he scored, yeah.
Never heard that one before. There you go. Well, Ori, thank you so much for giving up your time tonight to join us. Obviously, we'd love to be hopefully back on the field very soon, and hopefully in 2021 in particular that will happen, and hopefully be bigger and better than ever after, or by then, it'll be 2 years of last time we all played.
Yeah,
it will.
Let's go Mustangs. We'll get back on the pitch.
Yeah, Mustangs. Thank you so much for having us.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks, mate.
No worries.
Be sure to keep an eye out on our Facebook page for pre-season.
My ending there. That's the Melton Hockey Club there. Of course, make sure you get down there. We'll put all the details up on our social media on how you can go about getting down there and how to go there at the Melton Hockey Club. There's more on the Smash Sport Show right after this. Don't go away here on Lockdown Tuesday.